All right, we're starting to record. I mean, the main subject is, the bylaws, and not to get off topic, but anybody have any urgent traffic before we get into the main thing?
Not here.
All right, good.
Yeah, let's see if we can get through this thing tonight.
It would be nice.
We've got 23 on the bus.
Do what?
23 on the bus.
Oh, 23. Okay. We're getting close.
How many does the bus hold?
Well, it'll hold 48, but our goal is to get 35.
Okay.
We're
Is
getting
48 filling every seat, or is that
Yeah.
leaving seats empty?
No, 48 filling every seat.
Okay.
We have to leave the front row, the 4 seats in the front row vacant, and then we take up 4 seats with the drinks and food.
Okay. Well, we're getting there.
Is it better than last year this time?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better because I haven't gotten money from anybody.
Yeah.
Well,
But normally by now, that's in the 20s or so is where we normally are about now, isn't it?
I don't think
I mean,
so.
yeah, typically. Yeah. I mean, because normally what are we running, 35 or in the 30,
No, it's generally in the teens and 20s, I think, at this time.
I know, but the total to end up going is like in the 30s, right? Low 30s.
28, 29.
Yeah, low 30. Yeah. We're
High
doing pretty
20s,
good.
low 30s is what has happened in the past.
Yeah, we're hanging in there. Okay.
really don't want a full bus. We kind of want to.
No.
Yeah, I'm actually afraid a full bus would turn some people off. So
Yeah.
all right, well, good. Well, Mary Jean, have you got your little? Oh, let me get it where you can share.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up, Steve.
Yeah, hang on. Let me. Security, share screen. All right, you should be able to do it now.
All right, we ready?
Yeah.
All right, officers and board of directors. 4.1.1, the officers of the board of directors shall be president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, immediate past president, director of programs, director of meetings and special events, director of publications, director of training, and the current trustee of the W4BS Club Call. All officers shall have one vote in all matters on which the board of directors vote. 4.1.2. The president shall appoint the following non-voting positions to serve on the board of directors concurrent with the president's term: public information officer, club historian, and club counsel. The board of directors shall be composed of the dark officers, 3 appointed positions, and 1 trustee. Which I do have a question about that. So should we, since up here trustee is considered under the officers, do we need to have trustee out by itself, or could we just say dark officers and 3 appointed positions?
Good point.
Well, you have, where is it? Actually, it's 4 four appointed positions, which are the director, the four directors. Isn't it?
Well, the appointed ones are the information, the historian and the council.
Oh, okay.
I was actually going to say, do we want to just say appointed positions and not number it at 3? And that way, if that changes, we don't have to change that one.
So just go with maybe dark officers and appointed positions.
I mean, yeah. What do y'all think? That might make it a little clearer, because why would you say the officers and then say the trustee? It might cause some confusion. Somebody thinks that.
Yeah.
I could take that out. And I'm just taking out the number of appointed ones. That way, if for some reason we add or subtract from the appointed ones, we don't have to remember to change.
And I'd take out one trustee because it's already in there.
That's what we're saying. Yeah, that's what we just did.
Well, you take out 3 and the spell out 3 and the number 3 and put "and" in there.
Yeah. Yep. That's what we got.
And then, okay.
All right. So I will accept those changes then, since there's no objection. Okay. 4.2, term of office. 4.2.1, Board of Directors members described in these bylaws shall be elected annually at the regularly scheduled dark meeting in November. 4.2.2, the dark officers shall take office on January.
There's not an apostrophe after officers.
Yeah, I just deleted it. The dark officers shall take office on January 1 following the election and serve for 1 year or until their successor assumes their office.
Okay.
All right. 4.3, chairman of the board. 4.3.1, the president shall preside over all board of director meetings. I'm going to add an S if there's no objection, since it's board of directors. 4.4, voting rights. 4.4.1, all officers of the board shall be
Hey,
entitled.
going back to the other one, do we want to say the president or somebody appointed by him in his absence or something like that? Do we,
It's in the position.
I think
Isn't
it's in vice
Stated
president
later.
or president. Let me look.
Down 5.2.
So yeah,
Yeah, 5.2.
5.2.3.
okay.
So let's see. Okay. All right, 4.4.1, all officers of the board.
Hold on just a second.
Yes.
Why don't we say the president shall preside over all board of directors meetings except as specified in what is it, 5.2.3? Yeah. That way it doesn't, somebody just reads this, says only the president can do it.
Well, but I mean, in that note, you could say, keep reading. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we could, I don't think it needs anything, but if y'all think we should add it, then we can definitely add it. Just let me know. Where am I?
I think it just makes it to where you know that there is an exception.
You can put it out, to the side and say C X, Y, Z. See vice president or something like that.
All right, so what would you say the wording?
Except as specified in 5.2.
Well, if we're gonna add something, would we want to say except, or would we want to say or as specified?
Okay. Or as specified in 5.2.3.
All right. 4.3.1, the president shall preside over all board of directors meetings or as specified in 5.2.3. What if it was unless otherwise specified?
Well, I'm trying to direct somebody to where they can see how it's written. Where they don't have to read through the whole thing, because a lot of times they don't know where it is if it's as the exception.
Well, I guess I'm sorry, I didn't finish the sentence. What if it said unless otherwise specified in 5.2.3? So instead of saying or as, saying unless otherwise.
Okay. Either way, we're going to have an attorney look at it anyway, so
Okay.
he might change it.
Good.
Because that reads weird to me.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be like over here or something, but then it still doesn't seem right. But I think other spots have had unless otherwise specified. Let's look. All right, so let's see. 4.3.1, the president shall preside over all board of directors meetings unless otherwise specified in 5.2.3.
Okay.
So would that work then? Okay. All right. 4.4, voting rights. 4.4.1, all officers of the board shall be entitled to vote on any matter properly brought before the board of directors unless otherwise prohibited within these bylaws.
Okay.
4.5, duties. 4.5.1, the board of directors shall conduct all business of the dark not otherwise delegated by the bylaws to the membership. 4.6, meetings. 4.6.1, the board of directors shall meet on the first Tuesday of each month. 4.6.2, all meetings of the board of directors will be open to all dark members in good standing except as provided in paragraph 4.6.3. 4.6.3, in cases where the board of directors is to discuss matters specified in Article 4, Section 11, removal from office, or Article 3, Section 5, expulsion from membership, the chairman shall have the authority to close at their discretion such meeting to anyone not a member of the board of directors for the duration of such discussion. This authority is given to the chairman to allow for the protection of confidentiality and privacy of the dark members involved.
Okay.
4.6.4, the board of directors may consider matters that arise between meetings by electronic or postal means. As to such matters so considered, a vote of a majority of the members of the board in favor of or against a matter shall be conclusive of a quorum. 4.6.5, quorum. A quorum of the board shall consist of at least 5 members of the board. In the absence of a quorum, no action taken by the board shall be valid. (4.7) Report of meeting. 4.7.1, following each Board of Directors meeting, the presiding officer shall provide a report to the DARK membership at the next regular DARK meeting. This report will include at a minimum a summary of any actions taken by the board. 4.8 Nominations. 4.8.1, a nominating committee consisting of 3 members shall be appointed by the president at the regular August membership meeting. The nominating committee shall nominate a president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, director of programs, director of meetings and special events, director of publications, and director of training. These names will be placed in nomination at the regular October membership meeting. 4.8.2.
Hey, on that one, do we want to say, just thinking, do we want to say at the August meeting or by the August meeting?
By the August meeting.
Bye sounds good. Let's see.
Hey, can I bring up something real quick?
No.
Yeah.
The, back on the quorum part, where it says shall consist of at least 5 members of the board. Now, is that voting members?
Yes.
All right, I mean, do the non-voting ones, are they considered part of the board? I'm just trying to see if you need to clarify any language in there.
So
Well,
are you
the
thinking
non-voting would be non-voting in this situation.
You would?
Yeah.
No, I didn't understand what you,
Well, you said, would the non-voting members be a part of the quorum? No,
okay,
because they're non-voting.
okay. All right, for example, my spot, I would be counted, right? Because I am a
Correct,
voting
because it
member.
says you are a voting
But
member.
is that, but you classified me differently earlier.
Well, it classified you as trustee and it's appointed
Yes.
by the president, but it says that the repeater trustee is,
Right.
actually, it's a call sign trustee.
That's correct.
Uh,
It just goes out into everything else.
Yeah. Mary Jean, on 465, board should be capitalized, I believe.
yes, I did on here.
Okay.
I just didn't say anything because I saw it as a grammatical type thing. So,
I mean, if that doesn't look like a problem, I don't have a problem with it. I just kind of dawned on me. I was being classified in with the directors and, I didn't know if there was going to be something.
well, should we replace this word, like this part of this word of the board to say officers? So like a quorum of the board shall consist of at least 5 members of the officers, or at least 5
Sure.
officers of the board, maybe
How about just 5 voting members
Yeah.
5 voting members. So,
of the board?
Yeah, that would clarify it.
all right. So 4.6.5 quorum. A quorum of the board shall consist of at least 5 voting members of the board.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, sorry.
Actually,
I don't come up with things very often.
actually, it should be, I think, 6, because you've got
Half this
10,
one.
you've actually got 10 people on the board, including the past president.
That's correct.
So
So,
I would say 6.
And is it redundant to list or to say the board twice here? Should it just be a quorum shall consist of at least 6 voting members of the board? So, read
Either
a little
way,
bit-
I mean, it's
read a-
under
read a little more
board
to
of directors, so that's whatever y'all think.
I don't want to get too nit.
Oh, I
too
see,
nitpicky.
yeah, yeah,
It just
you
sounded,
could
it just
delete
sounded,
this
it
one.
sounded kind of redundant.
So where it would say a quorum of the board shall consist of at least 6 voting members. Or you could add in of the board back here and then say a quorum shall consist of at least 6 voting members of the board.
I think that sounds better.
All right, so quorum. A quorum shall consist of at least 6 voting members of the board. In the absence of a quorum, no action taken by the board shall be valid. So would that work for what?
Should we say quorum of the board? Well, no, it says it in the first line, a quorum of the board shall consist, yeah, okay.
All right, does that work for y'all?
I guess the question that I have is with our past presidents being inactive, do we really want to include the past president as a voting member?
Well, I didn't know if that, I know he, like in this case, he was coming to meetings the first year. So like
Mhm.
Joe, I would keep
second
that in
year-
there, and that gives you an option of pulling him in if you need him for a quorum.
Yeah, okay,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Well, I mean, we could clarify, because I don't remember reading it. It may be in here though, because there's a lot here, but do we need to clarify that the past president would continue to serve if the president serves multiple years? Because technically, you know, would you consider the past president and a well, I mean, you know, because
Well,
Kent,
I'm laughing because of the situation we're in now.
because I mean, he came to quite a few meetings, like, or just about everything the first year after. And so I didn't know if something was in it just because, you know,
Well,
Steve
but
kept
I think
coming back.
at that time he was living in Memphis and not
Okay.
in
Yeah,
Fayette
I
County.
want to change that because, like I said, if something major was to come up and we wanted to pull in, you know, the past experience or something.
Okay, let's leave it.
Okay.
But the previous president prior to, I'm trying to think who was before Ken,
It was Ray, wasn't it?
yeah, Joe Ray.
Yeah, you're right.
He did come to meetings, but I don't think he came to board meetings. Anyway, let's go on. We'll leave it as is
All right.
with 6.
4.7.1. Following each board of directors meeting, the presiding officer shall provide a report to the DARC membership at the next regular DARC meeting. This report will include at a minimum a summary of any actions taken by the board. 4.8 nominations for, well, let's see. I guess.
Actually, should it be the secretary will provide a report?
Well, it doesn't happen at the dark membership meeting. It happens in Sparks. So it's
Yeah.
before the membership meeting. So it's kind of out of date.
Okay, I mean, whatever.
Well, I mean, Steve normally kind of reviews everything in his welcome remarks of what we've, like, I mean, I
Okay.
know obviously he
Yeah.
doesn't go over all the little stuff, but, you know, when he talks about certain things and,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
each different person in a sense, like Joe, a lot of the stuff you've brought up during training, like information at the board meetings, you've repeated at the club meeting. So I don't know. I mean, should we even say the, where am I?
membership. You could say at the next regular dark meet, you could say in the Sparks publication or at the next regular dark meeting
In the newsletter.
in the newsletter. Yeah, that might be better. Yeah.
Yeah. Or to the dark membership.
And or,
Yeah.
right.
Indeed. All right. So 4.7.1, following each board of directors meeting, the presiding officer shall provide a report to the dark membership in the club newsletter and or at the next regular dark meeting. This report will include at a minimum a summary of any actions taken by the board.
That's fine.
All right. 4.8.1, a nominating committee consisting of 3 members shall be appointed by the president at the regular August membership meeting. The nominating committee shall nominate a president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, director of programs, director of meetings and special events, director of publications, and director of training. These names will be placed in nomination at the regular October membership meeting. Still good. 4.8.2, all nominees must be members of the dark in good standing and possessing voting rights. To be nominated as an officer of the dark, nominees must have attended not less than 50% of the past 12 meetings. To be nominated as a trustee, a person must have served as an officer of the dark or be a voting member of the dark for 3 full years prior to nomination.
We scratch that sentence because we don't have a trustee of on the board.
Well, that would be Barry, would it not?
No, that's not Barry.
Okay. Let's see.
Okay.
Because we've got, hold on, somewhere up here. Because like right here, Joe, 4.1.1, do we need to reword this then if it says current trustee of the W4BS Club call?
The trustee is appointed by the president. I don't see being, having an extra class
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
license. Why would it require a 3-year period?
Mhm.
All right. All right, so then that would just make it all nominees must be members of the dark in good standing and possessing voting rights. To be nominated as an officer of the dark, nominees must have attended not less than 50% of the past 12 meetings.
Now, with what's gone on this past year or so, do we want to update that 50% in any way? I mean, not change it, but clarify that virtual meetings will work as well as in person. Oh,
Well,
okay,
this
okay.
might,
Yep. I got you.
We're considering them official meetings, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Which if y'all want to, if we want to go on and read this and then just to kind of have an idea, since we are going through things that are required and whatnot, I can read this real quick on electronic meetings because this was added. So 6.4.1, the board of directors may, in its sole discretion, determine that any meeting of the members shall not be held at any place, but may instead be held solely by means of remote communication. Participation in a meeting held by remote communication shall constitute presence in person at the meeting for all purposes, including quorum and voting. 6.4.2, members shall receive at least 7 days advance notice of the change to a remote meeting and shall be provided instructions for participation and voting for such remote meeting. So.
There's some inconsistency in here with notification about meetings. There's one that's 10 days and one 7 days, and that's 6 days. So we need to be consistent when we come to the notices, I think.
Yes, I agree. What do we want it to be?
What paragraph was that in?
6.4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, we had in 6.1.1 we had 10 days, and then in 6.4 we had 7 days.
What do y'all think? I mean, 10 days to me doesn't make much of a difference over 7 days. I know 7 days could be something that would be determined at the board of directors meeting, whether it's going to be like, if we decided at our next board meeting, hey, do we want to do virtual or in person? Of course, we don't publish Sparks until a few days before, but would we rather even extend that? Because do you remember how far out in advance before the meeting that we decided about going virtual?
Well, we probably decided at the board meeting in April.
Yeah, so it was just a week before.
I think notification about going virtual versus the meeting, it could be 3 days or 2 days.
What would Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? Well, I mean, if we wanted to save it in worst case scenario, if Sparks was letting people know, we could just say 2 days.
I was going to say, I mean, 7, I mean, because there could be situations where we wouldn't know 7 days in advance.
Yeah.
I would just even keep it, I might even keep it pretty vague, like, just as soon as, as soon as.
Give advance notice.
Huh?
Just give advance notice.
Yeah, advance notice, advance notice will be given as soon as practical, or, something like that, because, in some case, yes, this one we knew because of the shutdown, but we could, now that this has worked, we could decide in the wintertime to do it as a virtual thing last minute because of weather or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to do it 24 hours prior or something like that? The reason I say that is I don't want to come up in 1 hour before a meeting, call a virtual meeting when nobody would.
24 hours, because yes, that could work.
That would give us time to put it out on the net the night before.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we could send it out on the email, but that would also give us time to get it out on our normal
No,
information.
I like 20 because that commits us where if we're going to do it, we couldn't really, for the most part, we couldn't do it, just a minute's note, a couple of minutes notice.
Yeah, that's a good point.
24 hours or 1 day?
Oh.
Because we,
Now,
the weather might come in and at 8 or 9 o'clock the
Yeah.
night before we decided to put it virtual. It wouldn't be 24 hours.
yeah, okay. 1 day.
Let's see. Okay, so in that case. All right, so on the electronic meetings, we've got members shall receive at least 1 day notice of the change, 1 day advance notice of the change to a remote meeting and shall be provided instructions for participation and voting for such remote meeting.
Do we really need it considering that we have it in 611?
The regular meeting. Oh, that's a good point, because it does say
Yeah.
may change the date, blah,
Mhm.
blah, blah.
I think that's safer. Because what if there's an emergency and just a few hours before everybody agrees, well, we're okay with going with Zoom.
All right, before I lose this thought, and while we're on electronic stuff, do we want to put in the bylaws that electronic meetings would be recorded for future reference when practical?
No, because we don't record regular meetings.
I'm just throwing that out there so that it's, so that it's in there that we are going to record them.
What if we
No sense in making
said
it
they,
mandatory.
yeah, I would say either maybe go the way of saying they may be recorded for documentation, or not say it at all, since you do, anytime you, and I guess anybody else who has done it, I've noticed that every single time y'all are going to click the record button, you've said it like, oh, we're going to start recording this meeting.
Yeah.
So,
I would just think, I'm just trying to start thinking
Yeah.
ahead, what
yeah.
would be appropriate.
I mean, we could put in there that remote meetings may be recorded for, I don't know,
For future review.
they may be recorded.
Yeah, just say that maybe. I don't know. I was just throwing that out there while I was thinking about it. Is that something that we want to mention?
Well, I think so, because there may be some people that object to having themselves recorded.
And then we could say that it's in the maybe
Yeah.
that's in the back of my mind, what I was in the roundabout way trying to get.
Yeah.
To. If somebody objects to it, we can say, hey, it's in our bylaws. We've got the right to do it.
Right.
Say may, not shall.
Right. I like that. I like may,
Yeah. All right. Well,
but I do
Okay,
like the fact
so-
that it's mentioned so that if somebody, like Carolyn said, if somebody
Yeah.
objects, we can say, hey, look, number one, we try to say it before we record it, but it's also in our bylaws.
all right. So let's see.
Do you want to say and may be posted on social media? So you don't have to blur out anybody's face that say, well, I don't, you can record me, but I don't want to be out on the internet.
Yeah, you could say social media, or you could even say maybe recorded and uploaded to a virtual format, which includes social media.
That's
Just in case we ever put links on our website, because that's not
Yeah.
technically social media, but it's still
Yeah.
online, or I don't know. But that's a good point. That's a very good
It may
point.
be recorded and
Published.
made public.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Remote meetings may be remote or virtual meetings.
Well, we can go in and change virtual. You
Just
know,
say,
change all the-
or would we say electronic meetings?
however, because it does say electronic. So, okay.
Mm.
What do y'all think? Virtual? I mean, because we can change all this to make it consistent. So,
Well, make it electronic. I mean, that's
Make it
fine.
electronic, and then that way it would cover us if we start recording our actual meetings and posting them.
It does, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
But I would like to try to do that. I know that it's, maybe I'm making more out of it than it is, but I'd like to try to do it. I just think it's going to be a little complicated.
all right. All right. All right. So if you had, I think that is a good idea to get rid of this sentence. So
Mhm.
since it is mentioned up here, but should we, from the part, like, shall be provided instructions for participation and voting? So should we move that pretty much up to this paragraph somewhere? Or should we just delete it and let it be?
We don't tell them how to get to Ellendale, do we?
Well, we do give the address.
Well, but we give we put the Zoom link in Sparks where, you know, it is public.
Well, but I guess, I mean, do we want to reword this then? Because that, to me, I'm reading this as saying we will post the link on how to get to the, I don't know. I mean, I guess it may be redundant if it's, the members have to know that. So
I think leave it out.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right. 6.4.2. Okay. All right, so I will read it again since we made a few changes.
Well,
So
question.
Yes.
If Steve is talking about recording regular meetings,
Yeah.
don't we need to say that all meetings may be recorded?
Yeah, I was just
And
thinking
published?
that. Yeah.
I would think so.
That
So,
might be that. Well, that's why I changed it to electronic. But yes, that makes more sense.
so
It has to go up into.
it has to, yeah, it has to go up where the other,
Shit.
I see what you're saying.
Actually, I don't know that we've covered meetings yet. Membership meeting.
No, 6.1 is meeting.
it is.
Well, oh yeah, that would be.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Well, in that case, well, hold on, that's the regular meeting.
That's, why don't you have a new heading? You've got electronic meetings and then just recording and publishing meetings, or however you want to word it. Because the first one just says date. So just make it 6.5. about recording.
Okay.
I don't know. What does everybody else think?
I kind of like that idea, yeah.
Yeah, because it would either that or we would need to change that to create another line. So,
Yeah.
but definitely, yeah, you're right. That wouldn't work as is.
Just say meetings for 6.1.
So like, okay. Well,
Okay, that works.
and in that case, I can just say all meetings may be recorded and published.
Right.
Yep.
And then delete that. All right.
Did we say that about events too, or have we covered events?
I don't know
There's
that events are
just-
really,
They're going forward? Okay.
I don't remember really saying anything unless. Mm. I don't know. I mean, if we need to, I mean, I guess we can know do we want to look and do anything now or make a note to, if something comes up about events, to mention that.
You want to put meetings/events?
And events, or yeah, take your pick.
Well,
I'll put it there. Okay, I thought you meant another whole new heading. I didn't want to do a whole new heading, yeah.
Okay.
I'd say dark events.
yeah. All right.
Once you put dark in the front of meetings and take the dark out there, so it'd be both of them.
Yep. Good idea. Okay.
So do we want to say recorded and published electronically? Or is that understood?
I would just understood as being recorded.
Okay,
Keep it short and simple.
there we go.
I mean, we're publishing them anyway in Sparks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good.
Good point.
Yeah, because even photos that are taken, that would cover, because
Yep.
a photograph is a recording in a sense.
Yep.
So,
That's one reason. I think that's another reason you kind of hit on why I'm thinking, because some people are, the fact about blurring out faces and stuff, some people these days are starting to get so sensitive about what's
mhm.
done.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. Well, does this look okay to y'all for now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because we can, after we work through the officer section, we can always go back through it again, because something may come up that we need to.
Yeah. 483 is where we
to
stop.
clarify. Mm. All right. 483. The presiding officer at the regularly scheduled dark meeting in October shall open the floor for nominations. Nominations will be taken from the floor for all elected officers and the one trustee. So we would need
Scratch one trustee.
okay. Whose term expires on December 31. Once open, the time period for nominations shall remain open through the November meeting elections. After any and all nominations have been received from the floor during the November dark meeting, The presiding dark officer at the November meeting shall close the nominations. Elections shall immediately follow the closing of the nominations. I mean, that sounds pretty
Yeah,
standard.
straightforward.
So. Okay. All right, 4.9, election procedures. 4.9.1, the presiding dark officer shall supervise the election. 4.9.2, balloting shall be by secret written ballot.
Question,
Okay,
if there's
which
no
officer?
opponents, why, can we just say that, if there are no opponents, the nominated person will be considered elected or something like that?
4.9.5, if there is only one candidate for an office or executive board seat, that candidate shall be declared elected by a voice vote of the members present without
Okay.
objection.
I'd put that under 493.
So combine it.
Well, combine it or just have it as 493.
Move it up.
Just move it up.
Make it 9.4 instead of 9.5.
Oh, so like switch these two so that way they're together.
Yeah.
Okay. Good point.
No, I would put it at 493.
Yeah, I think I may
Fine.
yeah, but I think I said 9.4 when I misspoke.
Move, a candidate shall be elected to an office and then, or trustee, and cancel that trustee.
Do we need or executive board seat?
Hold on. I still would put that one, if there's only one candidate, put it before the candidate shall be elected to an office by a simple majority.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
All right, so let's okay. So you're saying here.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right. All right, so
I'd say just for an office.
that's what I'm thinking. I feel like well, we don't use executive in the terminology anyway, but
No.
kind of cuts out extra. Okay, so I'm going to start back up here. 4.9.2, balloting shall be by secret written ballot. 4.9.3, if there is only one candidate for an office, that candidate shall be declared elected by a voice vote of the members present without objection. A candidate shall be elected to an office by a simple majority of licensed, paid-up members in attendance at the regular annual November meeting.
I've got a problem without objection. You can have one
Yeah.
objection.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's true, because if there is an objection, you would just follow regular parliamentary procedures.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Declared elected by a
voice vote of the members
voice
present.
majority vote.
Voice.
It would be a majority by majority voice vote.
Some of this. Okay, so 4.9.3, if there is only one candidate for an office, that candidate shall be declared elected by a majority voice vote of the members present. A candidate shall be elected to an office by a simple majority of licensed paid-up members in attendance at the regular annual November meeting.
Okay.
4.9.4, if for any reason elections are not held in November, the election shall be held at the next regular membership meeting thereafter. Would you say, thinking back to the electronic, since it did mention voting or other, whatever, other actions, do we feel like that between this section and then the electronic meeting section that this would cover us in the,
Yeah,
okay.
I would think so.
All right, 4.9.5, the dark secretary shall count votes cast at the election. The person receiving the highest number of votes for any office shall be declared elected. The secretary shall then inform the presiding dark officer and the members present at the election meeting of the results of the election. In the event of a tie, an immediate runoff will be held.
Should we say in the event of election where there's two people? Or does that earlier paragraph cover?
Can you clarify what?
Well, if they're not if they're running unopposed, why should the secretary have to count votes?
I guess that would be if, since this says balloting shall be by secret written ballot, but if there's only one,
it's by.
Okay, if it's,
Yeah, it's
by voice vote.
Yeah.
So like, maybe to kind of get what you're saying, should we say the dark secretary shall count
the
ballots?
ballot, the secret written ballot?
Yeah,
Written, yeah, written ballots cast at the election?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that, yeah, I see, yeah, okay.
Well, either that or if there's just one person voting, all I can do is count the one. So we can handle that.
Okay, so the dark secretary shall count written ballots cast at the election.
Actually, I would say secret written.
mhm.
Actually, balloting shall be by written ballot, wouldn't you say? Why have secret?
I think that'd be fair to get rid of that. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
And the good point on that is somebody might say we're not secret enough or something.
yeah,
yeah.
All right.
Got a question on the written ballots. How would we do it electronically?
The only thing I can think of is that we would have to, I think there's supposed to be some kind of option on Zoom where you can set up like a poll or
Yeah,
something.
All right.
And if not, I mean, the only other thing I could think of is if you had, I guess if nominations are on the floor by the October meeting, then you could go in and create something on a different website that could have a link where it would be anonymous. But of course, then that kind of puts into play your on the floor nominations. But that might be something where if we want to go and add a mention in the electronic meeting that says, you know, within reason, the voting may be revised or I don't know, something like that. What do y'all?
I can't remember the website, but for another club that I'm a member of, they did have a online or they use some third party website that offers the option for you to send out essentially like a one-time use only link to each member that they could then follow that link, vote on that website, and then it would tally it. And so it was independent from the regular meeting. And everybody had one vote and one vote only. I can try to find the website, but I think it was a paid option though. There wasn't free.
Why don't we just say, you know, if electronic means, something about if electronic means it's necessary, or if it's necessary to use electronic means will be, decided by the board at the time or something. I wouldn't go into too many details on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those times change.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, agreed.
That's true. A lot of online options I would have used 10 years ago for
Yeah.
like college stuff doesn't even exist now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So don't get
Oh,
too
man.
specific.
Yeah.
Just say it will be, a method will be provided.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
You know,
definitely couldn't use.
if we have to do it electronic.
we
And
definitely-
I was just mentioning it
electronic
just
things that
to
Barry
let you
did.
know that there is
Oh,
that
yeah.
option.
Mhm.
Well, so do we want to reference it some way here, or do we want to go into the electronic meetings and reference it there, since that's specifically for electronic meetings?
Yeah,
I would say put it more down in the electronic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see.
Would we want to say, all right, I'm just, before you, here's something to throw out that may be kind of a catch-all under electronic meetings. Electronic meetings may be used for, but not maybe used for, but not limited to meetings, elections, and any other normal in-person activities.
Well, we've got, I would think that would be in the last
for
part.
all purposes.
It is. Yeah. It says,
Okay.
and voting is there. Yeah.
Well, if we've got it there, then do we need to say anything else?
I don't think so.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I see what you're saying. So since we even just mentioned voting, it would be understood that
We'll work it out somehow.
an appropriate means would be figured out
Mm.
to keep it secret or written. Okay. All right.
Electionrunner.com. Okay.
There's also like eballot.com or something like that.
Okay.
We just don't need to do something where anybody will boycott us, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
We could learn from all the other states' mistakes since last year.
I wonder how many boards and committees and clubs have been revising their bylaws this year because of everything that's
But a lot,
happened.
but a lot.
Electionrunner.com. Okay. All right. Well, I'll go again. 4.9.5, the dark secretary shall count written ballots cast at the election. The person receiving the highest number of votes for any office shall be declared elected. The secretary shall then inform the presiding dark officer and the members present at the election meeting of the results of the election. In the event of a tie, an immediate runoff will be held. 4.9.6. The results shall be printed in the next available issue of the Dark newsletter and or on the Dark's website.
You want to say something about social media since we have Facebook page?
Let's see. So what if we said the results shall be published in the next available issue of the Dark newsletter on the, well,
Or any other club media,
yeah,
any other club media maybe.
Published is better.
published in the next available issue of the Dark newsletter. Well, the results shall be published in the next available issue of the Dark newsletter and the Dark's website. And
And/or?
well, but I'm wondering if we put or, do we need to even do a second sentence? Because if we do and/or, somebody could sit there and
That's
technically,
right. You could put it in
and
Facebook and
say-
not have it in the
Yeah,
newsletter.
yeah. I think that's good too.
Okay, okay.
let's see.
Available issue of the newsletter and may be on the Dark's web page or Facebook page or whatever.
All right, so the result.
Well, that's why I'm saying, do we want to make it just even more general, newsletter or other,
See.
and any other available means of communication, or, just.
Yeah, because there are already always new things coming up.
I was going to
Media.
say mediums, but I don't know if that would
Media.
Communications media.
Communication media, yeah.
It would be medium, wouldn't it? Or
Well,
Media.
media,
MEDIA.
because we might have multiple. Yeah.
Okay, so the results shall be published in the next available issue of the Dark newsletter. They may also be published on the Dark's website and or other Dark communications media.
You could just say and, since you said may.
Yeah. They may also be published on the and other. Okay. Are we good with that?
Yep.
4.9.7, the newly elected board of directors shall take office in accordance with these bylaws.
All right,
Four-
all right. Now we're at a break. We're coming up on a quarter till 8. Y'all want to? At what point? I don't think we're going to get finished. Y'all want to kind of set some sort of?
Well, what if we just got through 4.12? So then that way we would be done with Article 4.
Okay. I mean, I was just, you know,
duties. I mean, or pause now. It's whatever. It's whatever
Let's
y'all
go
want.
ahead to get to 5.
all right. Let's get this one. Let's get this one done. But then I'm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hate to say, you know, I don't think we're going to get finished. And
No, you're right.
okay. That way, if somebody's wondering, we know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So okay.
Okay. 4.10, officer vacancy. 4.10.1, should any dark officer, well, should any dark office except that of president be vacated for any reason, that position shall be filled by any eligible dark member who shall be voted upon and approved by a simple majority of the remaining board. This person shall serve the remainder of the current term.
That's fine.
Good.
Okay. 4.10.2, should the office of president be vacated for any reason, the vice president shall assume the office and duties of president for the remainder of the term, leaving the office of vice president vacant for filling by the board as set forth in these bylaws.
That's fine.
4.11, removal from office. 4.11.1, the board of directors may recommend the removal of any dark officer or trustee for any of the following reasons. A, poor meeting attendance without good reason. B, failure to pay dues within the period in which dues are to be paid. C, gross misconduct as determined by a majority of the board in the performance of official duties. D, behavior that brings discredit to themselves or to the dark, such as an FCC license suspension or other civil or criminal action.
No problem.
Dang, I think I've hit 3 out of the 4.
I mean, that sounds like standard
Yeah.
reasons. So 4.11.2, any officer.
Just
Well, should we say any board member, since this says office or board seat? Since we do have the officers that are elected and then the others that the appointees make up the board as well.
Yeah, probably.
Any board member removed from their office or board seat retains membership within the dark unless expelled from the dark. Should such expulsion from the dark be deemed necessary, and then
Yeah, that's
should such expulsion from the dark be deemed necessary, then expulsion shall be handled as specified in Article 3, Section 5, expulsion from membership.
Right.
All right. Does that work?
except
4
you got-
point. Yes.
At the beginning of the sentence, board is capitalized, but then further on down, it's small. It's not uppercase.
Should it just read like any board member removed from their position?
From their, seat?
Yeah.
Oh, from their position. I would think that would work.
That would work.
Mhm.
Any board member removed from their position retains membership within the dark unless expelled from the dark. Should such expulsion from the dark be deemed necessary, then expulsion shall be handled as specified in Article 3, Section 5, expulsion from membership. 4.12, procedures for removal. 4.12.1, at the next Board of Directors meeting, the matter of removal from office of a board, of a dark officer or well, of a dark board member.
Mary Jean, go back to 411.2. It
Okay.
should be any officer.
Well, but officer would be the elected ones. I think that's how wasn't that how it?
411 has everybody as an officer. It defines the officers of the
That's
board of
true.
directors
Yeah.
shall be, and it lists everybody.
Well, how would these three, the appointed positions, be removed if they're not listed in the officers?
We can say that, the president can remove them. It's at the discretion of the president.
Okay.
Mm.
Where should we add? Because it's not in anywhere else, is there?
It says that the president can appoint them. So if they can appoint them, he can appoint anybody. It doesn't say it's for a 1-year term.
Well, concurrent with the president's term. Well, I think it'd be good to add that
What
in.
you can say is also in that one that it's at the president's discretion. Serves it will.
So maybe go back up here to the top and then put something in, kind of another sentence that, let's see.
Where's the wait a minute. Yeah, the appointed positions serve at the president's I'm trying to think of the word.
Well, it's usually discretion or something. But
at the president's discretion. Concurrent with the president's term,
go ahead.
but at the president's discretion.
Would we want any checks with that though? Like because I know everything has been good historically, but I mean, if forever something came down the line where a president appointed, let's say even like a club council, and the council said, don't do this, it would not be good to whatever. And then the president said, I don't agree with you, you're out.
Well,
You can still vote on what the council is recommending.
Well, and then that goes, and then if the president goes rogue and goes against something like the counselor, then his position's at risk.
At stake, yeah.
Okay.
but I mean, even the first sentence, it doesn't say, those are positions. It doesn't say the same people will be in those positions all year long. It just means those positions will be occupied. concurrent with the president's term. So you might have somebody serving for 6 months and somebody serving for another 6 months.
Let's see.
And we've had that
Uh,
in secretary,
Oh, okay.
basically.
But that's different. That's set up, that's set up and say they shall serve for a period of 1 year.
Yeah, yeah.
This doesn't really say that.
I see
It's
what you're
just,
saying.
it just says these positions are available and they'll be filled. But it doesn't say the person who's filling them is going to serve for a period of 1 year.
How can we clarify that? Because like for me, I wouldn't have understood it to mean that after reading that. So what can we do to clarify? I mean, I see your point now that y'all have explained it, but
The appointed position serves at the president's discretion.
all right. All right. So the president shall appoint the following non-voting positions to serve on the board of directors concurrent with the president's term: public information officer, club historian, and club counsel. The appointed positions shall serve at the president's discretion.
Okay. So that covered, I think, the two things we were worried about. It's limited to no longer than when the president's there, but the president can limit it before that.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay. All right. So back down. So in that case, it would make sense to do, well, let's go back up here.
Again, I say 411(2) should be any officer
Yeah.
and not board member.
Yeah.
Any officer removed from their position. Because that's all that would be.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Were there any others? Office. I think that, okay. All right. So any officer removed from their position retains membership within the DARC unless expelled from the DARC. Should such expulsion from the DARC be deemed necessary, then expulsion shall be handled as specified in Article 3, Section 5, expulsion from membership. (4.12) Procedures for removal. 4.12.1 At the next Board of Directors meeting, the matter of removal from office of a DARC officer must be taken up before any other business may be conducted. The board members shall vote except for the accused officer upon the removal action. A simple majority of the board members present shall cause the motion to carry, and the accused officer shall be removed from office effective immediately. That seems pretty standard.
That's pretty.
4.12.2 Any vacancies resulting from this procedure shall be filled in accordance with Article 4, Section 10, officer or elected board member vacancy.
That sounds good.
Officer
Yeah. Officer
vacancy.
vacancy.
Oh,
And vacancy would be lowercase.
Yep. Well, would it be
well, it's a title.
caps
though.
and then in quotations,
Yeah.
since it's listing a specific
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
title? But yeah, that's a good catch.
Well, but do you have a section that says officer vacancy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Article 4, Section 10. So that would be,
Oh, okay.
For some reason, oh.
all right. So 4.12.2, any vacancies resulting from this procedure shall be filled in accordance with Article 4, Section 10, officer vacancy. All right. Well, that's it for Article 4.
That's it.
Okay.
All right.
Because that still leaves Article 5, duties of the officers, which is pretty lengthy. Article
That's-
6, membership meeting, and then committees, the trustees, fiscal affairs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've still got a chunk to do.
You know. But yeah, I like the idea of calling it a day.
Either that or I'm gonna need to take what drivers used to call a biological break or something. So
Right.
All right. Well, I will email this to y'all.
You want to meet next Thursday night?
I wasn't rolling my eyes. I was rolling my eyes just to think. Let me look at my calendar here. Tell you what, now that I've retired, I got to look at my calendar more.
I could if it works for y'all.
I could.
I can.
That's fine. That's fine.
All
Yeah, it
right.
should be available.
Well, if you would like, if that's our tentative date, and then if we want to keep the same time, I can just add that information when I forward this on in a few minutes, since we've got a few people not on here.
Okay.
Okay. If you don't mind doing that, and then I'll go ahead and send. Well, I tell you what. Why don't you do that, and then like Tuesday or so, I'll send the link, and then that'd be a reminder too. That work?
Yeah, I think that'd be fine. And
All right. Anybody else got anything?
No?
All right. I do appreciate everybody joining, and particularly Mary Jean. You've done a great job
Yeah.
on this. It seems to kind of be in your ballpark, and you're doing a great. It's shining that you're passionate about this, and you've got the ability that this. I think doing it this way, where we can see it and change it all at once, is working great. So I'm glad that you came up with this way of doing it.
Did anybody, I haven't looked into any of this. Have any of you looked into any of these questions that we had about like the door prizes and incorporated, whether it's spelled out or the shorter version, or?
No.
Or would it help to list those specific things in the email? So
I guess the question, Jim, do you have the IRS incorporation papers?
I do, but not handy right now.
Okay. If you would look there and see if it's Inc. or incorporated. I have
Sure.
a feeling it'll be INC period.
okay.
I will verify that and reply to everybody.
Okay, thank you.
I thought the door prizes thing was going to go to the lawyer.
Okay. So still pending.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that one's been a little bit of a fuzzy thing for a few years now.
Okay. Well, I'm good if y'all are. I can just stop.
All right.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Well, once again, thanks everybody. I'm going to stop the recording and end the meeting, and we'll see you next Thursday.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Right.
Thank you.
Great week.
Ciao.
Oh, and I'll post it. I'll send a link for this in the next day or so too. So,
Okay.
okay.